Take a look. We've got an intraday picture of Sprint spiking higher right now after Charlie Gasparino tweeted out something.
Oh,
He's going to tell us what. Let's look at T-Mobile as well, because these two are kind of inextricably linked. T-Mobile at the moment also, I believe, is coming up off its floor. Why? Well, the pending $26 billion merger taking its turn on the government's anti-monopoly game board. The White House seemingly ready to roll the dice on the two telecom giants who could play a key role in the U.S. winning the 5G war. But regulators, boy, we love these guys, don't we? Antitrust regulators may not be willing to let this merger pass go. Charlie has new exclusive details on this grudge match.
It's a tale of two parts of an administration. What we know is this, that T-Mobile and Sprint executives, they announced this merger, I think, last June, right? It has to go through various approval processes. They have convinced the White House policymakers, people in the economic team, people like Larry Kudlow and Wilbur Ross, and people in national security, that this deal should go through. Why? The company combined will be very strong, and it will be a very good competitor to the Chinese.
So this is good news.
Okay, this is good news. Now, here's still the hiccup, and I'm telling you, I got this from people inside the White House. They still need approval from the FCC, and even more than that, DOJ antitrust. Malcolm Dellerim, the head of the antitrust division. Why is that? Well, Malcolm Dellerim has to make sure that this large horizontal merger, right, just layering two companies on each other.
That would be vertical.
No, it's...
Yes.
No.
To do the same thing.
Oh, that's right. No, this is a horizontal merger, by the way.
Oh, why?
This is a horizontal merger.
It just is, Liz.
Just deal with me on this thing. Horizontal, vertical?
Go on.
It's the same company.
Okay.
Like two companies that do the same thing, however you want it to.
Vertical!
Okay, two companies that do the same thing. Why? And basically reduces competition. Right, because you're going from 4 major wireless carriers to 3. Why that is not bad for the consumers, why that does not violate the Clayton Act, the act that governs antitrust law. So that's the big step, I think, for Sprint and T-Mobile. It is not a slam dunk, but they have already gotten the White House on board, and that's big. The policy advisors think this thing is necessary. It's a stronger company. We will have 3 pretty strong companies in the wireless area to go up against Huawei, the Chinese, on the development of 5G.
Which we need, obviously.
Which we need, and people think we need that for national security, just so you know, for a lot of reasons. We don't have all the time to get into that in this segment. But still, Malcolm Dellerim has to make sure that this deal does not violate the Clayton Act, because it's a duplicate. It's basically two of the same companies doing the same thing, and a lot of antitrust regulators, particularly the guys on the ground in the antitrust, guys and gals on the grounds, the bureaucracy of the DOJ antitrust division worries big time about horizontal mergers and their impact on consumers, since we're reducing the number of carriers. The FCC looks at it a little differently. They have to, Ajit Pai, who's the head of the FCC, basically has to look at it, is this in the public interest? I think it's an easier bar to meet for Sprint and T-Mobile. But the other one is not. The Clayton Act is a real thing. You don't want this thing being challenged in court and losing, because it's basically a duplicative merger, a merger of two of the same things. And we'll figure out whether it's horizontal or vertical after the break.
I'm joking.
But am I right? I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. In any event, we should point out this is marginally, more than marginally, this is good news for Sprint T-Mobile. The policy team is on board, both from a national security and an economic standpoint. It is the regulators at DOJ Antitrust, which will be the biggest lift, and of course Ajit Pai at FCC. We don't know. We should point out, we'll have a story on this on foxbusiness.com. The decision, I hear, is at least a month away. That would mean this deal took about a year to get through or not get through when the final decision is done. So stay tuned. This is a big story.
We'll be watching it. And intraday, you can see Sprint is popping like popcorn.
Bingo!
Watch it.
By the
Charlie
way,
Gasparino.
Lydia Moynihan, my producer.